A warm welcome. You're watching Times Now and I'm Nadda. Of course, it's been a very exciting time. We've been getting you minute-by-minute updates which are coming in as the Andhra Pradesh government takes shape. We just saw the swearing in of none other than Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu. It is, of course, going to be very, very significant for us to see how this entire alliance is going to be panning out. After all, in this alliance, it is going to be the BJP. Of course, you have Chandrababu Naidu and you have the Janasena of Pawan Kalyan. Of course, earlier in the day, we also have seen Pawan Kalyan taking oath and Nara Lokesh. That is going to be the rise of the next dynasty, perhaps. Nara Lokesh also being sworn in the cabinet. It's going to be interesting to see his political also shape up as he takes on more and more responsibilities. Let's get you the first few visuals. What was very interesting in all of this is the way that Chandrababu Naidu and Prime Minister Modi had interacted. We are going to be showing you those exact visuals where we saw Chandrababu Naidu going to touch the feet of Prime Minister Modi, and then Prime Minister Modi pulled him towards himself and hugged him. In fact, we have those visuals there on your screens, as you can see, of the Prime Minister congratulating Chandrababu Naidu after he was sworn in. Pawan Kalyan taking oath, that's the visual that you can see right at the center of your screens, and you have the entire oath taking. That is the live visual stream that is coming in on the extreme left-hand side of your screens of the NDA government taking oath under the aegis of Chandrababu Naidu, who takes over once again as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Well, let me go across to Tushar Gupta. Tushar, we've just been speaking a lot about what the implications, what the challenges, and what are going to be the first few focuses of the Naidu government. But I'd like to ask you first about the body language, the chemistry that we can see between Prime Minister Modi and Chandrababu Naidu right after the oath taking. What does it signify for the alliance, not just at the state, but also the central level?
Look, from a show of strength point of view, it signifies that the alliance is in order, the house of the alliance is in order, that this government is on strong footing. It holds an end to all the speculations and rumor mongering that were happening between the 4th and 7th of June, that somehow this alliance is not stable, somehow Naidu may want to quit this government, somehow everything is not well between Naidu and the Prime Minister. You know, all those speculations that were being carried out by the opposition and the agenda peddlers of the opposition, all of them have been put to rest today. What you see today in Andhra Pradesh is a show of strength of the NDA. You know, we keep comparing NDA and the India alliance, but the truth of the fact is that the NDA alliance, while the India alliance came into being to save Rahul Gandhi's political career. So you'll see this show of strength quite often as we move on in this term. You'll see it in Odisha later in the day, perhaps when the CM takes oath. You'll see it in the governance also. And if you talk about the priorities of Chandrababu Naidu, look, I agree with JVC. We were talking before that this is a golden opportunity for Mr. Naidu to leave a lasting legacy in Andhra Pradesh, to build a capital that the people deserve, that the state deserve, because the capital is a very important issue. This is one trend perhaps everyone missed during the elections, covering the Lok Sabha elections, that at the state level, people really desired a capital. And Mr. Naidu made that push earlier when he was the chief minister. It was cracked by Reddy. Now he has the opportunity to rekindle that entire Amravati project, and this warm hug you see, it also signifies that he'll have all the support from the center in completing that dream of millions of people of Andhra Pradesh.
That's a very significant point that you have raised about making sure that the state's development is going to be the priority. Of course, Tushar, as we all know, Chandrababu Naidu and Prime Minister Modi, the one thing that the both of them have in common, amongst perhaps several others, is the fact that they have always pushed for infrastructure. They've always pushed for building that ecosystem of MSMEs as well as startups. We have seen what Prime Minister has done with the Gujarat model, and a similar model that we had seen later on in Chandrababu Naidu, the way he had developed Andhra Pradesh. They are both called the men of Vikas, the Vikas men. Do you think that's going to be one of the primary focuses when it comes to this understanding between the centre and the TDP, that it is going to be the state and its Vikas which is going to take the front seat and will be ably aided by the centre? It's not about the Mantralaya, it's about helping the Vikas of the state.
Oh, absolutely. I think you've hit the nail right in point. This be a double-engine sarkar in Andhra Pradesh, but it's very unique because, you know, we've seen the BJP in Karnataka while they are in the center, and the double-engine formula really worked there until the Congress took over the state and it all went to nowhere. Now in Andhra Pradesh, there's a strong desire for infrastructure, strong desire for more capex. And even one of the reasons Reddy was voted out by the people so strongly, so overwhelmingly with this kind of a mandate was because they wanted more infrastructure. Now, what worked in Andhra Pradesh is that both Mr. Modi and Naidu are pro-business, pro-infrastructure, pro-development, pro-welfare. While they may have their socialist programs which are running simultaneously, they are heavily focused on developing infrastructure, which has a spillover effect on the economy, which further has a spillover effect on the employment prospects of the people, that has an overall progressive impact on the state's prospects. So I think that is where the people of Andhra Pradesh are all set to gain. And, at the end of the day, the BJP also has this opportunity to demonstrate to other states, Telangana, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. All these states right now are under non-BJP governments, but they have an opportunity to see how a double-engine model government may work in a state other than Karnataka. So I think the BJP is also eager to deliver. Naidu is also eager to deliver. And at this point, the best part for the coalition is that the political and the policy interests of Mr. Naidu and Prime Minister Modi align very strongly.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more that policy alignment of the two coalition partners is expected to be very strong. This is a coalition, as they have said, of commitment, not of compulsion. Let me, in fact, take that across to Akanksha also, who's joining us. Akanksha, very interesting visuals which have been coming in. Let's talk about the optics as well of the swearing in. And in attendance is none other than Prime Minister Modi in one of his most important aids in the NDA alliance partnership that he has stitched together. Prime Minister was there. Amit Shah was there, JP Nadda was there, Nitin Gadkari was there. It doesn't get bigger than this. The optics behind it all, Akanksha.
Well, absolutely. On the stage, we saw JP Nadda, Amit Shah, Prime Minister, not just them, but also the NDA allies, Eknath Shinde along with Ramdas Athavale, all of these coming on one stage for this oath ceremony. Now, Andhra Pradesh has the new Chief Minister, that is N. Chandrababu Naidu. Right now, the ministers of his cabinet are in fact taking the oath one by one. That also includes starting with Pawan Kalyan and then the son of the Chief Minister, Nara Lokesh. So all of them coming on one stage, showing the unity between the NDA allies. But the defining moment here, Meghna, was the lingering hug and the emotional hug between the Prime Minister and Chandrababu Naidu right after he took oath. We saw that he was holding, both of them were in fact holding the bouquet of flowers. They kept it down, and then there was a very defining and emotional hug between the Prime Minister and the TDP chief, and now the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu.
Well, stay with us, Tushar. I'm going to come back to you. It's important for us to reflect. Of course, today is the moment of crowning glory for Chandrababu Naidu, but he's not had it easy. His political career, especially the last 5 years, have been forged in fire. Can you remind our viewers what all he had to overcome to today be here on the stage taking oath as the Chief Minister?
Well, it's not been an easy ride for Mr. Naidu, clearly. Being imprisoned by Reddy, by his government, under some cases that really did not go down well with the people. When he started off as the Chief Minister between 2014 and 19, he had high hopes for the state. He had high ideas for the state, ideas that could have really empowered the people there. But all that was snatched, all that was taken away by a mandate that went against Mr. Naidu. But I think the comeback, a lot of it has to do with how he was treated by the Andhra Pradesh government under Reddy, how the vendetta politics played out, how the vindictive politics played out against him. And that was totally uncalled for. Look, you may disagree on political principles, but to have this kind of vindictive politics against one leader who's been chosen by the state before, I think that really worked in the favor of Mr. Naidu, and that's why he was able to stitch a turnaround in such a quick time. You go back 6 months, right. None of us thought Mr. Naidu coming back to this foundation. Everyone was focused on how YSRCP and, Reddy's sister has allied up with the Congress and how they might have a prospects. Absolutely. Or they might cut through the TDP vote share. No one was even talking about Naidu, and even in Absolutely. The Lok Sabha coverage, Naidu was missing. It wasn't until the final days of the election that people started realizing that
he managed to take down the incumbent who was a giant in the state of Andhra Pradesh. I absolutely agree with you. But since we are talking about those who have really drawn the masses towards themselves, another big personality is that man in the center of your screens, the Jana Sena chief. Let's remind our viewers the reception that Pawan Kalyan got when he got up to take oath as a cabinet minister of the Chandrababu Naidu government. Watch this.
కొనిదల పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ గారు
నేను కొనిదల పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ అనే నేను శాసనం ద్వారా నిర్మితమైన భారత రాజ్యాంగం పట్ల నిజమైన విశ్వాసం, ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్ర మంత్రిగా నా కర్తవ్యాలను శ్రద్ధతో అంతఃకరణ శుద్ధితో ప్రజలందరికీ న్యాయం చేకూరుస్తానని దైవ సాక్షిగా ప్రమాణం చేస్తున్నాను.
Well, you could hear the cheers which are coming in from the crowd. Massive cheering which came in for Janasena Chief Pawan Kalyan. Of course, he's a very popular figure. But this time around, with this win that he's managed to clinch and stitch together, be part of the ruling NDA Sarkar, his popularity now has perhaps gone even more up. Let me, in fact, go across to JVC. He's also joining us now. What do you make of the alliance which is going in? Because one of the very interesting things that was said during the swearing in of Modi 3.0 cabinet is that this is not an alliance of compulsion, it is an alliance of commitment. How do you see the equation between Janasena, the BJP and the TDP, the latter of course have been together for a very long time now? How do you make of the alliance going forward?
See, a week back when the results were pouring in, I was on air in Times Now studio talking about what this alliance is all about. Now, Mr. Naidu wanted to come back to NDA right in 2021 itself because he knew pretty well that Jagan was not handling the affairs the way he should be handling it, and he wanted to come back. But at the same time, there were several people both in TDP and in BJP who did not want this alliance to happen. But here comes Pawan Kalyan. Pawan Kalyan stitched an alliance between himself and BJP in a Telangana election, assembly election. That was the starting point. Because Pawan Kalyan was very clear that it is only Mr. Naidu who can take on the might of Jagan Mohan Reddy and can defeat him. And the perfect moment came when Jagan Mohan Reddy, out of desperation, arrested Chandrababu Naidu. This created a huge sympathy wave in favor of Chandrababu Naidu because people felt that Chandrababu Naidu garu had not done anything wrong to warrant an arrest. When he was released, it took almost 20 hours for Chandrababu Naidu garu to reach his, the home, because that was the kind of crowd which had swollen in. By that time, Pawan Kalyan had stitched an alliance with Chandrababu Naidu. But he was very sure that if this alliance has to oust Jagan Mohan Reddy, Pawan Kalyan wanted NDA back in Andhra Pradesh because he knew pretty well that people needed that commitment, that the three are together and Mr. Modi stands shoulder in shoulder with Chandrababu Naidu so that development can be taken care of. And it is Pawan Kalyan who is the hero of this alliance, who convinced the BJP leadership on the need to go with Chandrababu Naidu garu. And the moment the BJP leadership realized that there is a scope for BJP to not only score certain MPs but also can come back to power along with Chandrababu Naidu garu, the moment they realized that, and they can also ensure that development can be promised and should be promised to Andhra Pradesh, the alliance was stitched. So it was Pawan Kalyan who played the role of the glue factor in bringing Chandrababu Naidu and Narendra Modi together. And then, once the alliance came together, once TDP, BJP and Janasena alliance was presented to the people of Andhra Pradesh were now convinced that the real alternative stands in front of them. And you saw the kind of voting which took place. More than 81% of people turned out, and there was a huge amount of money which was playing around in the election. In spite of everything, the general public came out, voted in favor of Chandrababu Naidu garu with the premise that with Modi solidly standing behind Chandrababu Naidu and Pawan Kalyan, and right now Pawan Kalyan is there as a bridge between Modi and Chandrababu Naidu, as a result of which whatever misadventure happened in 2018 would not be repeated. Once people knew this very clearly, they did not think twice before voting en masse to the NDA alliance. And that resulted in a landslide victory for not only TDP but also NDA. NDA could get the additional MPs from Andhra Pradesh, and Andhra Pradesh people are now celebrating because development as promised would happen, capital would be there. And there you see in the screens now, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, the former vice president. He also played a very important role because he, mind you, is very close to Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. And he must have also played the backroom negotiator's role to ensure that this alliance comes in place. And now rest is history, and all that the people of Andhra Pradesh are looking forward to is development, development, development in terms of capital, Polavaram project, industries and factories coming in, jobs being created, infrastructure push coming, capex coming into Andhra Pradesh. The agenda is very straightforward, simple, and all it requires is execution to the T, which I'm sure will. Chandrababu Naidu Garu is a highly experienced statesman, and Mr. Modi knows what is the requirement for Andhra Pradesh, and Pawan Kalyan would act as a perfect bridge between the two. And I want to complete one thing. Mr. Pawan Kalyan, after the results poured in, said, even if India Alliance offers him deputy prime ministership or prime ministership post, he is not going to quit NDA. That is the kind of promise he had made.
Oh, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. You are getting us the inside scoop that allegedly Pawan Kalyan has made this promise. Even if was made deputy prime ministership was offered to him, he will not quit the NDA. That was the commitment that today has now translated into action. You can see those visuals coming in live from Vijayawada as well. But Tushar, I'm going to come back to you. One of the interesting things that JVC had, of course, touched upon was the shifting of the capital, when very categorically Chandrababu Naidu has said that it is going to be Amravati, the capital of Andhra Pradesh. There is going to be no business of three capitals. That's where the focus is going to be razor sharp, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm being stressing on this that Amravati is a very, very emotive issue for Naidu and for the people of Andhra Pradesh. Look, we all look at Hyderabad today. It's a power center, it's an economic powerhouse. But who laid the foundations for it? Today, Hyderabad is counted among the top 5 cities of India if you look at the economic prospects there. If you look at the paying capacity. Who set the foundation for Hyderabad? It was Chandrababu Naidu. And today, the people of Andhra Pradesh will have the same expectation from him, that he sets the foundation of Amravati in a manner that 20, 30, 50, 100 years from now, when people look at Amravati, not just as a state capital, but as an economic power center of Eastern India, of Southeastern India, of Asia, they remember Chandrababu Naidu. I think that is the lasting legacy he would want to leave behind. And he has the golden opportunity to do so. I think that a priority of Naidu for this term would be to go hammer and tongs on development and infrastructure alone, not to get into, local politics too much, not to get into those vindictive politics. Sure, there are some pending investigations against Reddy, but I think the number one priority for Mr. Naidu would be to leave a legacy behind, and that he can only do, first of all, by building a capital, because what is a state without a capital? Naidu had already started working in that direction. Now he has the opportunity to complete.
Well, there seems to be a bit of a problem there. We'll try and get back to Tushar Gupta. JVC, I'm going to come back to you. A very emotive issue is going to be that of Amravati. And since you're talking about the development, that's where the focus is likely to be. What do we expect from here onwards? It's Chandrababu Naidu. He's already done it once. The Vikas man had laid the foundation, as very rightly even Tushar Gupta had said, for Hyderabad. Next, it's going to be Amravati.
So yes, I think the agenda is very clear because it's well-known fact. I think by this time, 10 years, they all know, people of Andhra Pradesh know, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu knows what is the requirement for Andhra Pradesh. Right up front is the capital. For the building a capital, you need funds. For the Polavaram project, these are the, because see, understand, I think there are very, very few places in the entire country where you can have 3 crops a year. 365 days a year you can have crops. Because Andhra Pradesh has got Godavari and Krishna river flowing. It's a very fertile region. At the same time, it is a cyclone-prone region. So, as far as agriculture is concerned, there is a lot of things happening in favor of Andhra Pradesh. All it requires is industrialization. All it requires is capital infrastructure being built. Because that's why I said, you look at Jharkhand, you look at Chhattisgarh, Raipur and Ranchi were built over a period of few years' time. And once you visit Raipur and Ranchi, you will know the kind of capital which is there. But unfortunately, 10 years capital, the state has been devoid of a proper capital. And Jagan Mohan Reddy played this saying that he took 5 years for him to decide, okay, I will have 3 capitals. All this is not going to work. Amravati is going to be the capital. And I think Chandrababu Naidu Garu is going to have a blueprint ready. And I think they will go to the World Bank, they will go to the various sources, they will come to the central government.
Also the centre, JVC, don't you think the centre is going to be helping? Because rumour has it that the pound of flesh was never about the ministries and the births. It was all about development push for states.
Exactly. See, because that's what I've been harping upon. This is not about, see, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu does not want the plum portfolios of the central government. All he requires is support. All he requires is assistance. And it is a very genuine request which is there for the people of Andhra Pradesh. People of Andhra Pradesh need infrastructure. Roads need to be developed because roads are not in proper condition. Jagan Mohan Reddy has ignored the development and infrastructure of Andhra Pradesh, concentrated exclusively on giving out free dole-outs to the people of Andhra Pradesh, and he just kept them happy. But that is not people of Andhra want. People of Andhra Pradesh are entrepreneurial in nature. They want to see a capital, they want to see development, they want to see infrastructure. And that is only agenda which is there for Chandrababu Naidu Garu, and that is what he is going to drive. He is going to go with a wish list to the central government, and central government, I'm sure, is going to support Mr. Naidu in all ways possible to ensure that Andhra gets development. And you'll also see a lot of companies putting up their shops in Andhra Pradesh.
Oh, that's going to be very interesting. We're going to be watching the developments there very, very closely. But Tushar Gupta, we had discussed a bit of it earlier in the show, but I want you to throw a bit more light on it. The fact that there has been a lot of history between the TDP and the BJP. There was a time when Chandrababu Naidu narrowly escaped with his life in that blast which has happened. There has been a lot which has happened, of course, the arrest, the jail. Do you think instances from the past may just be casting shadows in tough times for the coalition?
I don't think there is for the coalition. I'll be very honest. I think this coalition is on very strong footing. This coalition is working on the agenda of development. Look, if there was a power grab that was happening, this coalition would have never worked. But as I stated earlier also, this policy and political alignment of both the TDP and the BJP works well for the coalition. One leader is focused on the development of the state, one leader is focused on the development of the country. And instrumental to both is a legacy that they want to leave behind for the people of the country, for the people of the state at large. So I think that is where the instances of the past will cast absolutely no shadow on the future of the alliance. And what is on the other side? You have a coalition on the other side that is formed out of compulsion, that is formed out of convenience, that is formed out of the mere reason to save one silver spoon politician's political career. So even Naidu or Nitish Kumar, even for that fact, understand, or LJP or the smaller parties like the Jan Sena, they understand that if you want to leave behind a legacy of development, welfare, infrastructure, piece that happened on 4th June itself. Beyond all the speculations that happened between the 4th and the 11th of June in the last 1 week, one understanding that has been struck between the India Alliance partners is that we want to give the people of this country development that can impact the next 20, 30, 50 years. And I think that is what Naidu and Narendra Modi are working on. So to answer your question, will there be some instances of the past that may play spoil spot in this coalition? Absolutely. I think this is a fresh start. This is a bigger start. And given the mandate, this is a legacy-driven start.
A legacy-driven alliance. Also, they have a lot of history together. However, there have been certain ideological differences. JVC, I'm going to come to you for that. Issues like the Muslim quota. Very clearly, in the past, Chandrababu Naidu has said we will never take any step where the Muslims are going to be deprived of what they deserve. And now you have the BJP, of course, which has always been against it. Will there be ideological flashpoints in this? Of course, they will agree on the development agenda. Will it be the same on the ideological front?
See, if ideologically, if everything is strict, then there is no need for two separate parties. then might as well TDP can get merged with Bharatiya Janata Party. So there are going to be certain compulsions. See, even in Gujarat, there is reservations for Muslims, not based on religion, but based on the backwardness and social backwardness. If that is going to be the factor in allocating reservation, I don't think there should be any problem. As long as the industry, as a result of which he built the party brick by brick. And then when Lakshmi Parvati wanted to influence the entire party party legislators supported Chandrababu Naidu and he came to power. And then he managed coalition because Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is a political, war horse, is a veteran politician. He was there with United Front government, stitched together Devagowda government, stitched together IK Gujral government, came to a conclusion that these guys will never stick on together, as a result of which he made a switch over from the whatever you call the United Front to that of the NDA and gave unconditional support to Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 1998 and 1999. And when Modi was coming back in 2014, he came back to Shri Narendra Modi and NDA. So he has a humongous experience in front of him, as a result of which all the decisions which Chandrababu Naidu would take based on that development. I agree with Tushar. There is a moment of reckoning. History is going to be made. A legacy, it can be a part of a legacy. And I don't think any petty differences will come in the way towards a larger goal, larger interest of a developed Andhra Pradesh and a developing Andhra Pradesh would be the forefront. Everything else will take a back seat.
Absolutely. And in fact, they've made it very clear that they are hoping that Andhra Pradesh is going to be powering the vision of Viksit Bharat as well. Well, we are going to be keeping our fingers crossed because it is going to be exciting times for us to watch out for. It is history in the making. These visuals which are coming in live from Vijayawada, where three parties have stitched together an alliance which they call an alliance of commitment towards development and vikas. Andhra Pradesh is hopefully going to get and receive a part of the dream that they have dreamed for quite some time now. We'll have to wait and see what their repercussions are on Amravati as well. That's going to be one of the biggest issues that we are going to be tracking very closely. But for the time being, we're going to be slipping into a short break. We'll keep these live visuals coming in. JVC as well as Tushar Gupta, do stay on with us. We'll see you in 2 minutes.